joining in, but it is 12 p.m. here. It in Central Time Zone, 1 in Eastern Time. I forget we have lots of different time zones joining in. And girls, it is going to be a great day uh, for Inspire Women's Mentoring Group, and things are happening. And that's what we were talking about a few minutes ago. We had over 100 in our last meeting, and we're still adding them today. So we're up to about 63. But people tend to be a minute or two coming in. And there's been times I've been 5 or 10 minutes coming in, and one time I missed the whole thing almost, so I couldn't get in. So I'm glad the ones are in, not having a problem. Oh, great. And while we're waiting, I'll go ahead and I will introduce the uh, leadership team. We have Laura Brandeo with Lighthouse Advisors, Valerie Saunders with NAMB's Chief Executive Strategist, Chelsea Blaylock, she is Vice President of Operations at the Pension Source, and Jillian McDowell is NAM's Communication Manager. And I am Linda McCoy with Mortgage Team one of the founding members here, along with Laura and a few others. And it is 2 minutes after, and we're up to about 71. But I think that we're going to go ahead and see if Laura can start some excitement, because Laura is she's always one that she radiates excitement. So Laura, you want to go ahead and say a few words?
Absolutely. Well, welcome everyone. It is July already, and so happy that you're here. And Linda said to me, I do this Motivational Monday video thing every single week, and she asked me if I could speak a little bit about the topic that I posted this week. And what that topic was about was, when was the last time that you truly were excited about something? Maybe an upcoming vacation, maybe a wedding, a new baby. When you think about that feeling of anticipation, that bubbling joy that we get, that electric energy that makes it hard to go to sleep the night before. Well, what science tells us is that we actually light up in our dopamine center in our brain. This is what's tied to motivation, to reward, to happiness. It's not just the experience, it's the looking forward to something. So here's the question for everyone. What if we choose to wake up with that kind of excitement every single day? Excited for the life that we get to live, the people that we get to serve, the impact that we have in the power to make a difference in our lives and those around us. So we don't want to just attend a webinar. We want to be grateful and celebrate it. And on that note, we are so thankful that all of you are here with us today, especially since our topic today is about leaving a legacy.
Oh, and I love that. Like I said, she excites me. I can tell you, I love it. We're going to have Valerie is going to tell us a little bit right now about what's going on at NAM.
Sure. Thank you. So, our obviously we're starting to promote NAM National, which is October 17th to the 20th at Caesar's Palace in Las Vegas. We hope to see everybody there. Another thing I do want to point out is NAM Hive, which is our online community. Ginger Bell is our new, I call her our queen bee. She's actually also a founding member of Inspire. She did a great article today in MPA about Hive and ways to use an online community to further your brand. So if you're not part of Hive, I'm going to drop a link into the chat where you can go ahead and register. I also do weekly success builder calls on Hive as well. Just yesterday, I had Ginger Bell. So we have different speakers every single Monday. Laura's going to be a speaker here coming up. So if you're looking for a place to congregate, ask questions, collaborate, looking for our past Inspire sessions, our past educational webinars, those are all housed on Hive under our classroom section. So please join if you're not already part of it.
Fantastic. I love that. And Chelsea, tell us a little bit of update on the mentoring group.
Yeah, so after the last meeting, Linda had mentioned we had over like 100, I think, attendees, and you guys showed up for the mentorship group. So we got lots of influx of people wanting to be mentees and mentors. I will give a plea out there that if you've had a great mentor or you're interested in being a mentor, if you could tap somebody, or if you're wanting to do it in volunteer time, we would love that. I'm going to also drop a link in the chat for signing up for that. So if anyone knows anyone that could be a mentor, or if you want to be one, please feel free to sign up. But we did have a huge influx of mentees needing people. And so if you want to be a part of kind of passing the baton to someone and helping them work through some of the challenges that they're experiencing, I'd urge you to fill out that form and be a part of it.
Yes, and we did talk, Valerie and I were talking this morning maybe about doing a Zoom and actually bringing all those people together, and then asking what each one might want, and then and that way we'll have a little bit a better idea of what we need to do next. Okay, and let's see. Now it's time for the exciting part. Jordan Chapman, and let me introduce her. She is president in sales with AMC Encore, and since she's been an appraiser and she's got a history in the industry, then I think she knows how to walk the walk and talk the talk with the AMC. She's a graduate of the University of Arizona. And Jordan says she feels strongly about leaving a legacy in the industry, not just being successful, not just being visible, actually building something with weight, something that earns trust, creates impact, and lasts longer than you do. And Jordan, will you please inspire us with your topic, leaving a legacy?
Yes, thank you for that introduction. I just got a new MacBook and my camera like follows my face, and sometimes it looks like I am having like I'm in a car and I'm getting seasick. So if you guys don't look at me, look at the PowerPoint here. I want to make sure too that I may tap on you guys for assistance here. I'm going to share my screen, but I want to make sure I can see my notes as well. So just make sure that you guys are getting the screen view here without my. Are you just seeing leaving a legacy?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
you're good. It doesn't show
Okay.
the notes.
Okay, while you guys were talking, I was trying to figure that out and make sure I wasn't stumbling at all. So again, thank you guys for having me. I'm super excited to be here. I'm going to spend some time talking about the importance of leaving a legacy and hopefully share some practices that can apply to you all, both personally and professionally. I felt like this group was the perfect demographic to have this conversation because we have a vast array of highly esteemed professionals, friends, mothers, spanning across all generations. And so I want to show concepts and takeaways that can be applied to all of us. And hopefully everyone walks away learning something new or reshaping your mind on this concept. If you could have a pen or paper handy or utilize the chat box throughout this so that we can have a quick discussion afterwards. I know these are sometimes in speaker only format. So at the end, I welcome anyone to share what they've written down, and even ask the experts or the veterans, cough, cough, Laura, to share what you've done up to this point to leave your own legacy. Because I know that we have people in this room that are experts and have mastered this already. So let's see here. Continue to share. Here we go. So before I introduce myself formally, although Linda did a great job, I want to take you back to a familiar setting, one that we've probably all encountered in the industry, whether maybe it's a client happy hour, a conference mixer, or the classic MBA annual welcome party. So you know that moment when you're in the buzz, the networking, and everyone, it feels like everyone knows everyone, and there is this unspoken pressure to fit in. For me, it was extremely intimidating. I've always looked at myself as a social person, but in those early days, I felt like a complete fish out of water. And it wasn't just because I was new to the space. I was still finding my place in a world that where you know, everyone seemed to already know the playbook, right? And why I'm here to speak on this and to share is because some way, somehow, I got through those uncomfortable time periods where I felt so uncomfortable, right? The awkwardness, the nerve stage. And I don't know if I'm fully at the end of it, but I'm a lot better than I was when I first walked in. And that was because there were women that paved the way. They noticed me, they included me, and they provided a space when they didn't have to. So that's what legacy in action looked like to me long before I even had the words to describe what that was. And so why I'm here today isn't just to preach about, you know, what I know as facts about legacy, because I mean, truthfully, I'm still building my own and the early chapters of mine. So I'm more here to take or to offer some takeaways for how we can mentor, grow, and build up younger women in the mortgage space, women like me. I want to give you my perspective of what I feel moves the needle. And so, as Linda mentioned, my name is Jordan Chapman. My career started 5 years ago when I obtained my license to become a residential real estate appraiser. Since then, I have moved to oversee a sales org at an appraisal management company. And, you know, 5 years probably doesn't sound like a long time to a lot of you, but that's entirely the point. Because I'm early in this journey, I've seen how necessary it is to have women who light the way show themselves, and not just with success, but with openness, mentorship, and presence. I know what it feels like to search for guidance, for a roadmap, for someone who understands your ambition and wants to build with you. And I mean, I'll call it out. I'm probably one of the youngest people in this room on this call today because I haven't lived your experience. I haven't built what you all have, but I'm walking in the path that you all helped make possible. And so this isn't me telling you how to leave your legacy, but reflecting on how I've been shaped by yours thus far and what I hope that we can continue to build together. So I want to start with a rudimentary definition of the word legacy, not because I think you guys need it, but I think it kind of helps ground us. So this is one of those words that we hear all the time, but when we really pause to break it down and define it, it becomes clear the power that it holds. And in this description, something passed or handed down, that sounds straightforward, but that's what I want today's topic to focus on, is where we can do deeper reflection on how to pass down, what that means, and how we can actually take actionable steps to promise ourselves that we're going to do something like that when we leave this meeting today. I want to continue to stretch the conversation further into systems and mentorship in action, but really imagining what this looks like to live with a legacy, to lead with it, and then to leave it behind intentionally, right? So I wanted to add this in here because, again, a legacy does not just apply to work. I was recently at the TMBA in May, and we had the chance to hear about Karen, who has created this nonprofit called Living for Zachary. And this was a foundation that was created in memory of her late son. He passed away during football practice when he was 16 years old due to a heart condition. So when we're hearing Karen talk about Living for Zachary, she didn't just share her story. She showed us what legacy rooted in love and purpose really look like. And it's not about titles or accolades. It's about, in her case, choosing to turn personal pain and anguish into public good. Her legacy is deeply tangible. She built a program that installs AED machines in schools, football fields, community spaces. And she travels to schools to educate students about cardiac health and encourages them to get screenings to detect conditions. So her mission is clear. She wants to prevent cardiac arrest from taking other young children's lives. Her mission rings true with every potential life that is saved by her work, by her education. And more than that, this woman, Karen, she models how legacy is active. It's lived out in action every day, in advocacy, and in impact. So I share this, not only because her story deeply moved me. I recently lost a friend to unresolved or unnoticed heart condition. So it moved me tremendously. But it also gives proof that you can create some of the most powerful legacies from some of the darkest, most human places, like grief, like hope and determination. So what she built isn't just about honoring the past, but safeguarding the future. And I think we can all take that as a piece with us throughout this lesson here. So looking at the current landscape, we're all in it. So we know that the mortgage industry is still male dominated. And so while mentorship with women has improved, studies are still showing that it's not enough. A lot of women have mentors, but not enough have sponsors. So sponsors are people willing to use their influence to create opportunity. We're going to dig into the difference between mentorship and sponsorship a bit later. But first, I want to give credit to where it's due to all of us here because we showed up to the NAMB Inspire meeting, right? We're already taking a meaningful step to show our presence and signal that we're not just building our career, we are building and investing in a legacy. But maybe you're thinking to yourself that there's a chance to take that investment even further. And consider this too, if women are only holding 9% of leadership roles in our industry, mentorship alone is not going to close that gap. It has to, develop into power sharing. We're not just here to help women belong in this space, we're here to help women lead it. And so leadership at scale, it doesn't happen by accident, right? It happens when individuals commit to creating systems that outlast them. So that's where this topic, systemic legacy, comes in. And you've probably never heard of this because I certainly hadn't either. It's not a common phrase by any means, but this is the concept that legacy is not just personal, it's structural. It lives in policies that we create, networks that we cultivate, and mindsets that we pass on. So I want to ask you and to the group, what systems are we leaving in place for the next generation? Are we actively building out inclusive networks that stretch beyond our circles, like NAMB? Are we promoting mindsets that allow others to take risks and speak up and show up as they are? In this concept, legacy is not about age or titles, but it's about that impact and intention. So breaking this concept down a little bit deeper, I want to talk about the difference of legacy from personal terms to systems. Rather than asking yourself, what did I achieve? Who did I help? How will I be remembered? That kind of legacy is powerful. Don't get me wrong. It's individual legacy. So I'm trying to shift our lens today to something a bit broader, which is the systemic legacy. So it's not just about what we do, but what we're building that lasts beyond us. Thinking back to Karen's story, her son's memory does not just live in sentiment, but she has created tangible structures like the defibrillator donations, the heart screenings, the education. That's systemic. All of those things will outlive Karen. And so it becomes systemic when we embed equity into infrastructure. We change the norm, we open a door, or we create a program that outlives our direct involvement. So you want to change the thought of, instead of just asking, what story am I telling? I want you to also ask, what mindset, policy, or network am I embedding for others to inherit? So here's an extension of that. This breaks down two different powerful but very different ways of thinking about legacy. So that individual legacy is, again, what you're doing personally, who you mentored, the barriers that you break, or the seats that you claim. Systemic legacy is about what you're changing structurally. So are you creating policies or programs or cultures that uplift people long after you've moved on? It doesn't just stop at the impact, but it scales when it becomes true infrastructure. I'm always going to go back to NAMB Inspire because it's literally what brought us here, and we stay committed to showing up for ourselves and for each other, and we're going to continue passing that legacy down to more young people in the industry, which really excites me. So now I want to shift gears a little bit because this part it's not about having the right answers. It's about being honest with yourself and what you may need to unlearn. So this is where I want those notes or pen and paper to come out. And I'll share a personal anecdote here because I come from a mega corporate background. I was working at a billion-dollar tech company before I started in the mortgage industry. And at that time, it was all I knew. So success to me looked like structure, polish, playing by every rule and system that was given to you. If you weren't following the system or you weren't climbing the ladder carefully with your head down, staying quiet, you weren't doing it the right way, right? But then I then I moved into building an appraisal startup, and there was absolutely no rules. There was no playbook. There was quite literally nothing. And it's comical how quickly all of those concepts faded. You know, I had to now speak before I felt ready. I had to make fast decisions. I had to take messy risks. I had to learn by making huge mistakes. I became a leader even though I didn't realize it. And it was just getting uncomfortable, having to unlearn concepts that were drilled into me at a very young age. So the shift showed me something important. And it talks a lot about leadership too. It doesn't necessarily come from that set of rules. It comes from presence. It's not about a title, a look, or an age. It's about showing up with intention and authenticity. So I want you all to reflect either in the chat, which I can't read because I'm on presenter view. So if there are anything, someone just call it out. But what belief or behavior maybe helped you succeed when you first started, but it could be unintentionally limiting someone else? There could be a mindset that's embedded in your brain from being in the industry for many, many years, but you may be ready to outgrow that mindset and make room for somebody else's growth. So jot that down and think on it. Again, as we wrap up, I do want to hear from some of you what those thoughts are. And I want to keep going here to talk about the difference between mentorship and sponsorship. So I touched briefly on the fact that there is a difference, and now I want to talk about the impact. So mentorships help women prepare. Sponsorship helps them advance. That sentence right there is powerful in itself, so I want to repeat it again. Mentorships help women prepare. Sponsorship helps them advance. When you're working with a mentor, that person can help you build your skills and your confidence, but sponsors are the one putting their name behind yours when you're not in the room. And this really stuck out to me because we work in the mortgage industry, and we all know that it is one of the most relationship-driven spaces there is. It's built on trust, referrals, the long game, and who is willing to put their name on the line for you. So when we say women are over mentored and under sponsored, what I look at that is saying you're being trained for the game, but you're not always past the ball, right? Think about this with your own legacy. Is there anyone that you've mentored that you could now sponsor and take one step further? Is there a name that you could bring into the next opportunity to give someone that shot? And how can you replicate the same trust-based model that you preach to your clients in a business setting, but now apply it to young professionals in their careers? One thing that sticks out to me too when looking at this table is low risks for the mentor, high stakes for the sponsor. This is going to be more high stakes if you're putting your name behind someone's back. It needs to be an intentional choice, and it's not something you make willy-nilly. But I like to think that those who deserve sponsorship, they show their stripes. They show that zest, and they make it known too. They say, I want to go deeper and I want to build. So know that the sponsorship is a higher stake ask. But I imagine the feeling of seeing that person that you mentor / sponsor rise to the top is so much more personal and exciting when you know that there was even risk in it for you to put their name out. So we've covered a lot. One other framework I want to touch on here is the framework behind remembering, reimagining, and rebuilding. I want to leave you all with something practical that you can take beyond this room. So I want you to jot down and think, who mentored you? Who advocated for you or just showed up? Legacy starts with gratitude. So it's good to name them, thank them, honor them. Laura Brandeo not only invited me to join this group about 5 months ago, but also the MBA New Jersey group. I mean, I wouldn't be here if I didn't meet Laura. And so I will always remember the things that she's done for me, the doors that she's opened for me, the introduction she's made for me. And I don't take those lightly at all. This I think is going to be more catered for the Reimagine, for those that have been in the industry for a lot longer than me. But what do you wish would have been different for you? Are there systems or mindsets that you want to shift for the next generation of women? And this is where we step outside of that. Well, this is how it's always been, and just hope and dream of what could be. And then what I want everyone to think deeply about is, what action will you take now? And I'm not saying next year, I'm saying the next 30 days. What can you do? Because legacy is about micro moments. It could be nominating someone for a leadership role, sharing your story more openly, or, giving someone a shot before they're perfectly ready. Those small micro moments can rebuild an industry. So I'll give you guys a couple seconds to think through that and write that down. And then I'd love to hear from you guys on this next slide here.
Jordan, while they're doing that, someone had asked if you could repeat the phrase again about the mentorship versus sponsorship.
Yes. Where was that? Mentorship helps women prepare. Sponsorship helps them advance. So I look at the sponsorship as just that one step further of not only working with someone one-on-one, but saying, I believe in you so much that I'm going to stick my neck out on the line and truly open this door for you, because you matter that much to me and your success matters that much to me.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I would say that Laura has opened doors for hundreds of people, I'm sure.
Right? That is part of my legacy.
I
Thank you very
know
much,
it
Jordan.
is, Laura. Because people can't talk, they can type over here in this, the chat box. But
Yep.
I have to say that because, that's the honest truth. She does. She opened the doors for many, many people. She belongs to so many things. And it's, Laura she'll always be remembered. She'll always be remembered. She
Could
already.
not agree more.
Yes.
Could not agree more. She shaped my experience so much in just a few short months of knowing her. I can't even imagine what the next couple of years would look like, just having her in my corner and vice versa. I mean, it's one thing to be powerful, but it's another thing to be just serving, a servant leader. And she completely embodies that. And so that's kind of where I want to wrap. I want to encourage everyone to live like Laura, right? Like, start living your legacy now, in the next conversation you have, in the next decision you make, the next woman you lift. I want to take a moment to say too, aside from Laura, there's so many of you in this group, in this room, that have modeled what true leadership and mentorship look like. I know that because I've seen it, I felt it, and I'm grateful for it. So this isn't just for you guys to carry on. It's my responsibility too. It's all of ours. It's something that we're going to continue to shape together, how we show up for each other, who we make room for. So we have 1 minute at the end, but if anyone does want to share maybe a sentiment of what they're committing to do with this information, to rebuild, I'd love to hear it.
Well, first off, Jordan, thank you. And thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your presentation. One thing that stands out, how you started this presentation about the networking and how uncomfortable that is. I think you guys know that's one of the things I really, really strive for, is to make sure that every woman is comfortable in that awkward situation, because I don't care how long you're in the industry, it's an awkward situation when you're kind of looking around for someone that you know and have a relationship with, and you want to be there. And it's very important you said something when we speak about generations. So many times people think that you have to be in the mortgage industry for 10, 20, 30 years to be a mentor, to have, looking back on this legacy. That's not accurate. Like everyone can make a difference. Every single person can make a positive impact. And it's up to us to realize that. And that just being here, like you said, right there is a step in the right direction. So Jordan, great job. And thank you for planting this seed today.
Absolutely.
And it's very, and also search out that person. If you're out there and you want to be mentored, search out that person. I went all the way to California. I had talked to Laura on a phone call once with NAMB, trying to, she was working for a company and she was so amazing. Months later, I saw she was going to be in California at this place. I went specifically to meet Laura, specifically. And I searched her out and I've never regretted it. It's
That
really,
was about 4 years ago, like this week, I think.
I
to
think
be
so
exact.
too. I think so too. And I can tell you, Valerie has also been a world of, I guess, mentoring for too many people out there. So many people. She's invited
Absolutely.
into the, the fold of NAM and other groups. And I mean, it's let's get out there and let's search and find the people that need help or that you would like to help. I mean, invite them to Inspire for next meeting, which will be we meet once a month on the second Tuesday of each month at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And I look forward to seeing, we've had up to 90 something on here. A few have dropped off already because we say 30 minutes and we're done, and we're a minute past right now, 2 minutes past. And I look forward to seeing y'all. Invite someone for the meeting.
Love it. Thank you guys.
All right. Thank you.
Jordan, bye
Great
guys.
job, guys. Have a great day.